Okay, if we start from introducing ourselves. So, Minerva, would you like to start?
Hello, I am Minerva Rannila and I am the Director of Education and Culture in Kaustinen municipality.
Hi everyone, my name is Tytti Pohjola and I'm a project manager at the Kaustinen Regional Development Office with Kirsi here.
Yes, and my name is Kirsi Ojanen and also working in Kaustinen region as a project, is it a coordinator? Yeah. So, if we start from the basics, you probably all know, but it's not, well, we should do that. A little bit tell where we started and what is the base on our work. So, Kaustinen fiddle playing was added to UNESCO list, Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity in December 21. And the music is based on old wedding music from the region. New music has also always been composed. It can even be said that in the midst of many things, Kaustinen equals folk music and folk music equals Kaustinen. The region's folk music tradition has lived on from one generation to another, previously mainly based down from memory within the family. There are several well-known families of musicians in the area, with musicians from several generations down to today's children. And furthermore, the tradition that lives in Kaustinen region is such an essential part of every day that we often don't even think about it. There are hundreds of practitioners of the tradition in the entire Kaustinen region, from young children to adults. Also shows the tradition's vitality and aliveness. The year-round continuous activity culminates in July. Now we're in a festival, when the number of amateur and professional performers in the village alone exceeds the population of the entire village at the time of the Kaustinen Folk Music Festival. And how the tradition is shown in everyday life, we start from there. And how it shows in Kaustinen municipality.
And the municipality of Kaustinen is largely responsible for the facilities the municipality and culture is practiced. For example, the Kaustinen Folk Music Festival uses the premises of the municipality's primary and secondary school and the cultural center across the road, which is called the Folk Art Center. All activities in Kaustinen are basically based on networking. Kaustinen municipality is involved in a number of different cultural networks and activities. It can be said that the municipality is kind of umbrella under which the different actors operate. The municipality is also a cultural educator. Kaustinen is widely known for its music and culture. Kaustinen Primary School offers 1 more hour of music every week than the rest of the Finland. Culture plays a strong role in a daily life of the school. Kaustinen Music High School is our pride and joy. And we can also proudly say that Kaustinen is home to one of the most well-known music schools in Finland. Students can choose the instrument of their choice, and their learning will be promoted according to their own level of expertise. The municipality is also responsible for the children's cultural center called Lykky in the Kaustinen region. Lykky provides a huge number of activities for children and young people in the region throughout the year. Lykky is also present here for festivals, which I recommend you to check out. Then something about money. Culture needs also funding. The municipality of Kaustinen finances cultural activities to the total amount of about 250,000 euros a year. As you can see, in Kaustinen, culture is part of every day of the year and part of everyday life for its residents.
Yes. And how the tradition shows in everyday life. Here is two examples. There is Tyne. She is an elementary school student, and there is also Viljami, a high school student. On the left, you can see the organizations that provides different kind of activities in culture, and there is a week. How do you say?
Schedule.
The week schedule, and they are truly activities during the from autumn to spring. In summer, of course, it's the holidays, so there are activities also, but this is the week schedule. Youth Association provides the folk dance, and the folk dance group is called Ottoset. As you can see, both Tyne and Viljami, they have lessons and rehearsals in different kind of different Ottoset groups. And also Näppärit ry, it's the folk music, and you know probably the Näppärit, and they have rehearsals also all around year. And Tyne has one lesson, and Viljami, he is not involved in Näppärit, but there are different lessons, folk and violin lessons. And the violin and folk lessons with Viljami, there is the high school that provides them, and the teachers are in the high school teachers. And there is music school that provides for both of them, the violin, vocal, and other instrument lessons. And of course, all the children, all the youth, they don't only have the hobbies in culture and art. There is a local sports club that provides football for Tyne. But as you can see, there are a lot of cultural and art activities that are provided. The organizations that are not in school, but there are also culture and art activities that are included in this teaching and in the school by the teachers that are teaching in the school. And also in Kaustinen, which is not shown here, Viljami, he is also a student in Ottoset, but also he is he has own groups that he leads during the year. Yeah. Would you like to have some questions about how the culture and the shows in everyday life? Nora?
Actually, I was curious about you said earlier about the extra music lessons every week. Is there like some theme in these extra music lessons, or are they music lessons in general, or are they, for example, in folk music?
They are general lessons.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
In high school, there is a folk music group, which is the folk rock,
Okay.
and it's provided to all the students that are in high school, and you can choose the subject. And you can choose 1 or 2 instruments, and the school provides the lessons in those instruments. But there are these music groups, and there are several, I think at least 2 different kind of groups that is based on folk music. And it's not the only Kaustinen folk music. There are Irish folk music, and it includes many cultures folk music.
Okay.
But one part or one slide is the Kaustinen folk music.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
What kind of contexts do they perform the music in besides, I mean, obviously this is the classes, right? But are there performance contexts that the youth would be involved with? Like, I don't know, like do they give concerts or do they play for dances or special events?
In high school they have many concerts during the year, and they also are having concert, for example, tomorrow in Kaustinen Folk Music Festival, and there are I think 4 different high schools that are based on music, from Pohjola, from near Helsinki, and from was it Oulu, Madetoja, and Kaustinen, and which was the 4th? Savonlinna. Yeah, Savonlinna. It's in the east, and they are preparing a folk music concert. But during the year they have many concerts. For example, in March, April, every year they prepare a musical. Sometimes it's based on folk music, but different genres, from rock, pop.
And one could say that because we have quite a lot of different events around music throughout the year in Kaustinen, and it's really accustomed to basically ask students and young kids to play basically in every type of event, so that they get the just like good practice and opportunities for playing for audiences.
Just like public gatherings in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
In lots of different places, like even in business events or seminars and those types of events. So.
But this is a high school that's music oriented,
Yeah.
of course.
Yes.
So the other high schools don't have. It's only, I don't know how many in Finland, but not that many.
Yeah.
Mm.
But if we continue. Something about the tourism and regional development, and I think now if Tytti can continue from here.
I can. In addition to the sort of individual level of the significance of the tradition and also the Unesco status, it also has quite a great impact on regional development and the way lots of different things around the culture are organized. So in and around Kaustinen, there are other small municipalities, and we're basically they've gathered their forces and they've established a Kaustinen sub-region regional development office, which is our employer, and together we then do development projects and financing and basically just innovation for different subjects. For instance, with renewables or energy sources and circular economy, bioenergy, improving natural trails and hiking, for instance, and tourism, which is what me and Kirsi are involved with at this moment. And the main strategy which guides our work is the development strategy of Kaustinen subregion, which has 4 different themes that all the municipalities have agreed on, that are the main points of development. And the 4th one, which they've specifically selected, has to do with culture and nature, and just basically the upholding the happiness and well-being of our inhabitants.
And as you can see, there are the other 3 themes. They are quite different, but in our sub-region we see the culture, nature, and the well-being and happiness, or the living, which live here. It's as important as the other 3 themes.
And in the development of tourism in the region, the key point of the past few years of development has been certainly a key lesson from acquiring the Unesco status, which has really focused our attention on sustainability and the fact that all development that we do with different themes has to come from a place which supports sustainability in different forms. So not only ecological sustainability, but also cultural sustainability, which is basically very much incorporated in the UNESCO Intangible Heritage contract, but also financial sustainability, economic sustainability, and it has become very clear that because we're a region of small populations and quite a lot to protect in terms of cultural and living heritage, but also nature and things like that, which are quite fragile at the moment. So that is why we have directed our efforts to make sure that everything that we do aims to be sustainable in all these different ways.
So far, have you
Any questions?
any questions? Yes.
Go ahead.
What's exactly the difference between economic sustainability and financial? Because when we speak about those 4 types of sustainability, I'm missing the social sustainability, which
Yes.
would be instead of financial. So economic, social, cultural, and ecological. So this is
Yeah.
the way out.
I would, because social sustainability is kind of included in cultural sustainability, but also economic sustainability, because it also entails human resources, and because we have such a small population, workforce is very scarce, so it's kind of it's within those 2 concepts.
Furthermore?
Yeah. Any other questions? No? And rising from that, the strategy for the whole area, we've also generated a strategy for tourism development, where the key points are developing the region for not only visitors but also the residents in the area. So anything basically that we do, we try to keep in mind that it also has to provide for the well-being of residents. And the key elements of the strategy are culture and living heritage, but also its connection to our natural environment and our sort of well-being and the traditional folk remedies that are a very vital part of our heritage in this area.
And what happened at the same time as the nomination was going on and when the Unesco Intangible Cultural Heritage came in 21, Seutukunta, a region, sub-region, started a project that I think that the English translation is, I think it's quite funny, but Harvest of the Echo project. So I maintain it in here. But what were the what we did on that project and find out developing the tourism in this area. As before, there were only this folk music festival and also a few other music weeks. During the January we have a folk music fest. It's how do you say?
Chamber music.
Chamber, yeah, thank you. Chamber music week, and also a couple smaller events that includes a lot of music. But tourism, not that much as we have now in this week. But we started to think that how could we a little bit widen the or take more the folk music and the tradition in everyday, as you seen before, and taking the tourism. How do you say tarkoitan sitä näitä turismin niin kuin, mitä on like live like a local and the trends.
Yeah.
Sorry, the
Yeah.
trends,
Yes.
the tourism trends. How we can take them and this tradition and also the sustainability. So we had a little pilots that one was remote work live pilot with various tourism and education operators, and there were one event that includes nature, wellness, tourism, food and the culture, and also we make a Kaustinen fiddle music program packages that was publication in this July, and also Kaustinen fiddle music brochure and Kaustinen fiddle music information videos that tell the wider also the different kind of mitkä on osat, parts that are included in the tradition. Living Heritage Region Map, UNESCO short documentary, international network visits between Kaustinen and Poland, and much more, of course. And there are pictures from these. And one pilot that was quite popular, and also which is based on that we didn't make anything new. It was based on the tradition and all the events and everything that was going on in every week. And we find there different kind of activities and also the cultural and musical events. And we made a 1 week schedule, and all around the Finland we were welcoming everyone, and they could dive in to our this culture and this fiddle playing tradition. And 1 week they could live like a local and take part in the different activities. And during the day they worked, and in the evenings were the activities. And here is also the schedule. And on Sundays there are folk dance group for adults, and all the remote work participants, they could get in to the folk dance led by Paula Kettu. And on Monday they had a opportunity to acquaintance with the exhibition that was it was in this last year. Yeah. And on Tuesday they could get to Aapintuvat, which is the adult group that plays traditional songs, and they could get there, play along, or just just
Observe.
observe, thank you. And on Wednesdays there was the Näppärit, of course the youth group, folk music group, and also there was opportunity to join in or just observe. And Wednesday there was folk jam, which is a kind of a mix of dancing and also a gym that includes the folk dance, different kind of folk dance choreographies, but they have made it much easier. And on Fridays, not every Friday, but quite many times in Fridays, the folk musicians, they go to the Pohjola bakery and they just start to play, and people that are the customers, they can hear the folk music, and probably some of them join in it, or and many times there are videos and people are getting into the network also, the videos. But it's quite common that the players come there and start to play. And of course in this tradition there is much more than only the folk music, the fiddle playing and the dance. The tradition includes also bone setting treatment, which is in this area, and some municipalities nearby also have this kind of tradition. but it's quite unique in this area. So also the remote work which we're taking this week, they could join in and have a one this kind of a treatment. Here is a, I forgot that. Should we play the video now?
Yeah.
So you have seen Kaustinen in summertime. This was during the winter, so there is probably some pictures that includes snow. And one week there were 15 degrees, minus degrees, 20 minus degrees. There's the Pohjola bakery. Oh, that was short. Okay, yeah, questions?
You're selling this as a vacation where you can remote work.
Yes, remote.
So there's how much does a week cost if somebody comes in? Where do they stay?
I want to say about 700.
Yeah.
And
Ish.
it's
It's a very-
included all the program and the accommodation.
Yes.
Yes.
Food, no food.
There
It
was
has a
lunch.
little bit of you get a ticket that you can use to sample things,
Yeah.
but
Breakfast
not
is at
all
the
not all the
accommodation.
meals. But
How many people have you had doing this vacation?
it's very new, so it's basically just been launched as an just now. It actually is a product that you can buy. So during the project that we were doing, we piloted it as a sales product, and we had two different test groups,
Yes.
including I think about 20 people. How
There
many
were
people?
8.
Eight people, but in two different
Yeah.
different times. So
Yeah.
and then we gathered their feedback on it, and then we moved on to actually formulating it as a product that obviously needs to come together as a collaboration between the hotel and all the cultural groups. But it's been an interesting case because it also really helped to kind of navigate the sort of dialogue between the tourism operators and the cultural operators, and for them to come together with a collaborative product. So it's been interesting.
I think that the most difficult thing about these types of products is when you have a non-government organization that is a hobby thing, to get them to always provide this service and always be available, and what's the pricing of it since they do it anyway.
Sure.
We tried to do something like this with the opera festival we had in Pohjola.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to get people to always be willing to do the sober report, to be available, and to price the thing.
Yeah.
So I think we sort of
Yeah.
gave it up.
And it's a similar thing with if you're trying to sell a product that includes like a natural phenomenon. For instance, the Northern Lights or something like that. It's just not available at all times.
No.
And with cultural operators like this, it's just not possible to be on call 24/7.
No.
But it is possible to agree to some sort of guidelines and limits to how it can be reserved, and then in order to make sure that it can also happen once the visitor comes and wants to do it.
And where would you work in your hotel room, or where would you do your remote work?
In the pilot, there were three different kinds of where you could choose. One was in a certain place that was organized for doing the work.
Remote work.
Remote work, yeah. And one was in the hotel that were conference room, and one was there were two old houses, the Pelimanitalo and the Kraatari place that was shown here. And 90% of the workers, they wanted the old house, and they wanted the whole thing, as you know, they wanted to dive in to the culture and also have the environment that was old house. And there are in these also now we're selling, there are the possibilities to go to the old houses and work there. You have a question? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. My name is Paulina Palaharratti, and I was thinking about local people's expectations before UNESCO nomination. Have you made any survey or online questionnaire about this when the application was made? And I'm thinking both organizations actually, and then like local residents. How do they feel about it? What new would this nomination bring to them, and how, like, what sort of expectations there actually are? Because as we have discussed here, it has many like changes also, and potential new practices or new kind of like
new ways of collaborating and new ways of collaborating between different.
So are you aware of the local expectations?
I could say, or we could say, that perhaps the surveys or questionnaires that were made before the application went through had to do a lot with how the inhabitants, how the residents here feel about the tradition and what's important about it. Obviously, because it's a part of the whole application process, but also it gave us a lot of information on the kind of sense of importance that people place in the tradition itself and its importance in their life. But what has become apparent after the UNESCO status has been certainly with regional development, has been that it has enabled people and really inspired them to come forward and to say we want to use this, or we want to be able to bring these things about the tradition into products or into experiences that we can then provide for visitors as well. And so in our work, certainly it has, we've seen it as an active participation of different people from all around the area coming forward and wanting to further and develop things to do with tourism and things to do with cultural products, for instance. So definitely it's been more like an, let's say, catalyst for activating people and their interest in, they're asking questions like how could we provide this experience for more people.
Yeah, because it's normal that there might be also tensions and disagreement about something, how to make something into heritage.
Sure.
And etc. So it's very common thing to also, it's a process.
Sure.
For
Absolutely.
some people there might not be any relevance because Kaustinen has been so lively and so strong in this folk music before also. So there might be also like we all had it already.
Yeah. And also, I could also say that the UNESCO status has kind of given a little bit more of a vocabulary for people to talk about the tradition and its different aspects that might previously, where maybe they were felt but they weren't really talked about because they were so there weren't any words basically in discussing the experience that people had when they either came to Kaustinen or experienced as residents of it.
And of course, for example, in this remote work vacation, we made a questionnaire for the tradition players and the dancers, that how would they feel if this would come all around here. If there are 5, 10, 15 people staring at them, how would they feel about it? And Näppärit, they have been quite in common, that there are people that, because they are playing all around and all the pedagogics around Finland and around the world, they have been observing them many times. So they're quite common, that there are 10, 15 people just hearing and taking pictures. But some of these activities, they are quite, so far they have been that they are practicing and there are not so many outsiders. So we have to be, this is all we have to do, that this development packages and everything, we have to do these with we have to be very sensitive, of course, and as you know, we shown earlier the sustainability and all the economic and financial and cultural and social sustainability, so that we have to be very careful.
Any other questions?
This is not related to this particular,
Yeah.
remote work program that you've
Yeah.
just been discussing. But in the beginning you mentioned how there are like music in families. Do the youth learn like informally at home, or is it mostly just in courses these days?
Should we say definitely both?
Yeah, both. This example, Tune and Viljami, they are from the same family.
Yeah.
And I know the family, their mom leads folk music, folk dance. So, in here, when one member of the family includes or participants in some activity or folk dance, folk music, it's most common that there are also from the other family members are doing the same.
so maybe we could summarize that in I think in a lot of cases the knowledge and techniques and the history necessary comes from different, might come from the courses and that environment, but in the families it usually tends to expand into the whole family's kind of participation, because it's so vital that the family also supports and kind of with like logistics and everything that has to do with the tradition. So that way it's kind of it's also both elements are just really vital.
I would like to ask about the pilots the programs you mentioned. That did you manage to get any like results or feedback from the tourists? Like what kind of packages or what kind of services are they like hoping to have during Kaustinen? Are there any like specific fields that maybe needs to be developed yet?
Well, most of them there were quite pleased. One thing
We should say very pleased.
Very pleased. One thing that they said that it was nice to have a schedule for the week, and it made easier to do the work during the daytime. Many of them said that when you work at home, sometimes or many times you work in the evening and start early in the morning, but when you have these kind of activities that, well, you scheduled your day differently. And they said that it made when they go home, they hope that in during the work days in home, they would have the same kind of schedule and stay in that. Some of them said that, well, it made me think that maybe I would have art, culture more in my life, because they felt that after that week they were, more energy, and some of them said that it felt like I haven't even done, like I was in a vacation and I wouldn't have been doing work at all. And of course there is the Kratari, the traditional house where they worked. There were many feedbacks in that working days that they said it's like I felt that like I have been traveling back in time, and I felt that my blood pressure was lower, and I could work more efficiently, and I felt that I had the work that I was scheduled in that week. I didn't stress it so much because the environment, that it was very pleasant, and there were 3 different persons that used the word mummomökki, so like in grandmother's cottage. And of course some of them said that when they were taking participants in the Aapintuvat, the folk music lessons and the groups, they said that they could sense the community and their, how do you say, their yhtenäisyys ja vuorovaikutus. And they almost felt that they were welcomed in it, and like they were a part of it, the 1 week.
Where are the tourists coming from, and are they coming from different places than like the other tourists who are not coming for this program might be coming from? like people who might not be coming for cultural reasons? Are they from different, the people who are coming for cultural reasons from different places, the people that are coming for?
In the pilot, there were 40 people that were applying it, and they came from many different kind of backgrounds. There were doctors, lawyers, musicians, producers, students, working in, one was a writer, but they all had a contact to culture or some kind of contact to heritage, or at least interest in it. But we don't know yet. We just published this,
Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but were they from, like, are they all from Finland? Or from,
they were all in Finland.
Mostly from the southern?
There were 3 appliers. One was from Sweden, from Poland was one, Denmark was one, but they couldn't arrange but they applied.
Right. Are they mostly from the cities? The people who showed up, are they from urban areas or?
Well, they were, I don't remember anymore how, 20 or 15% was from the Helsinki area. And then they were from the east, from the north, from Oulu. All around the Finland, and also the 3 from abroad.
And actually, the project that we are currently working on, we we're aiming to have a more international aim for creating new pilots and to get more feedback from international visitors. And so after this project, we'll have a bit more information. And we also realize that these types of products obviously they're not for masses or big groups of people, so it's going to take quite a lot of time to gather the feedback and to create more profiles and kind of find the places or the themes that need more development. But it's definitely a promising start, what we have done with this project here. Any other questions or thoughts, ideas, feelings?
No, I'm just thinking about for small groups of people, how could you internationally market this? What's the channel? Maybe get some of those social media people to try it and post about it or something.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to sell through the big channels where they.
It is. I suppose it might have something to do with finding specific interests in
influencers.
like folk music or Finnish folk music. There are different audiences around the world that are specifically they are attuned to gain more information about it, but also different instruments, say, or environments that where you can experience kind of a traditional way of living, for instance, with working in the kraattaritupa. So I suppose it's kind of finding the niches and, let's say, the keywords and finding those audiences around the world. So
And then if you go abroad,
we're starting
yeah.
from that angle, but it's going to
If
take a
you,
little bit of
If
time.
you market abroad, there's some countries you could do sustainable travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise, it sort of goes against the whole fly here
Yeah.
from,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wherever.
And the sustainability,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
cultural sustainability
Yeah.
and sustainable travel is one of the where some key markets might just we might find
Because there
it
are like
there.
people who only try to travel sustainably.
Yeah,
So maybe that
exactly.
could be
Yeah.
a group of people who would love this type of thing.
Sure, and like slow travel movement and all
Yeah.
those local foods and local ways of living is what we want to find different ways to just reach those audiences and gain more information about how to serve them better. So it's interesting, certainly
Definitely.
challenging, but also really interesting.
It's sort of like exclusive in a way because you can't have many people sitting in there working remotely.
Yeah.
It's just a few.
Yeah.
So it's exclusive. At the same time, it's near nature.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things.
Yeah. It's sort of luxury, but for certain groups
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
Not for everybody, but like
Yeah.